All right. It's Thursday, so you know what today is. It's Doghouse Day. My very first candidate for the Doghouse may surprise some people because he's a favorite of the show for real. If you really think about it, he's the reason why a lot of people watch a certain show.
My guy, you in the doghouse.
Tomo, just do me a favor and play that clip for me.
The first lady, she was wrong in what she said. You don't send the invitation. She took a lot of arrows, a lot of people saying really malicious things, and we know why they said it about her because of her skin complexion, and we know who said it. The people that skin didn't match hers, and I get that. And all the blowback and the criticism that she received was unwarranted. But now, Skip, we're 3-4 days removed from this. It's time to let it go.
I usually agree with you on a lot of things, but this is where we disagree. You cannot. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. I look frozen a little bit, so I wasn't sure. But we usually agree on things. But I'm putting you in the doghouse this week because you can't really tell someone how to feel. That's this is where I'm coming from on this. Yes, I understand that she recanted what she said about inviting Iowa. But Angel Reese and the team all agreed not to go to the White House. You can't tell somebody to let it go when we know that most of the time a situation like this was more than likely racially motivated. The reason why they criticize Angel Reese and not Caitlin Clark is because Angel Reese doesn't look like Caitlin Clark. You know this more than anybody. You said this the other day. There are times when, yes, you can let some things go, but not when you know some things like that are more than likely is motivated because of something, because of the color of her skin. You said this multiple times on the show. You know that you've been a big advocate when it comes to stuff like this. So I feel like you should have understood it more why she's not letting it go. And she was asked a question. She answered a question that she was asked. Why are you guys not going? Are you going to go since she apologized? She said no. You said what you said. Most of the times, one thing about our people is we always have to be the nice ones. We always have to be the one to forgive somebody for something. Why is that? Can one of y'all answer that for me? Why is it that we always have to be the forgiving people?
I can't say it on FCC Airways, but you know why.
I feel
You should
like
always want us to let it go.
we have to let everything go. We can't hold anything in. But if someone else holds on to it, it's because they're showing passion. Correct? But if we do it, it's because we're angry. Angel Reese is right for how she feels, and she does not have to forgive her because that's how she feels about it. If in no other situation in the history of sports did this ever happen. There were a lot of times in sports, and there's a clip that I showed in the college basketball chat where this wasn't the first time this year that a woman had did something like that. It happened all year long. But all because she did to Caitlin Clark, a girl who was balling out, that now you want to put this out there? I'm sorry, I gotta put you in the doghouse for this. You know better. You know better. We usually, I said, we usually agree on these things, but no, she has every right to feel how she feels. So she can pretty much, if that's how she gonna feel about it, let her stay like that. I'm more than certain over time she'll let it go. But right now, 3-4 days is a lot of time to let something like that go. When it comes to something like that, I say no. So, Unc, you in the doghouse.
I got the picture, but I'm waiting. I got them together, so I'm waiting to take a second first and throw it up there.
Okay.
But so look, Dave. All right. So when I first saw that clip, I saw it totally different. I gotta be right real with you. All right. When I saw it, I looked at it as an older black man giving advice to a younger black woman, and I felt like his viewpoint was, Angel, let's focus on like the media and the whole focus. Even us on the show has been talking about her and Caitlyn in the White House. We have not yet talked about the actual game and the history they made, the run they made, like how she just transferred over there in her first year there and won a national championship for LSU the first time in history. We mentioned it one time and we focus on what's the narrative, which is what they're bringing out, which is Kaden and the White House situation. So I looked at it like he was saying, move on. And I'm a big advocate on forgiveness because he said it. You're not forgiving for them, you're forgiving for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're holding that anger, that's never good, really. Now, obviously, we're human. We're going to do that. We're going to hold in anger, but he's giving advice. That's how I looked at it. Now, if we're going to, if, because he had worded differently, because he had said that before he made his message, hey, I'm giving you advice. He didn't say that. But that's how I looked at it, because he still, even though Skip said, but don't you agree? He said, yes, she was like, of course that was aimed at her. Of course this happened. And he was with her. And he was like, but it's been 4 days. Let's move on. Let's move past it. And he even said it. Let's focus on this. Let's focus on that. Like, y'all did this. Y'all did that. Like, Skip, that wasn't even a close game. Like, they blew him out the water. Like, he kind of praised them while saying, it's all right, Angel. We, like, it's cool. Forget her. Let's move on. Let's move on. What she did was wrong. Let's move on. And that's how I looked at it. So I'm all for what Shannon Sharpe said, for real.
Yeah. So, Joe, I was with you when I first seen the clip, and then I thought about it. After he said let it go the first time, I was like, you know what, just let it go. Then I was like, okay. So he said let it go again. And that's when it hit me. I'm like, well, you're part of the media, right? Don't you control the narrative a little bit? You said sometimes you got pushback on what the topics are. I know, like, when we're on the show, we have our private chat, and if it's something that one of us wants to talk about, we say okay. And if it's something that one of us don't want to talk about, we're like, all right, we'll take a vote on it, and we probably won't talk about it. So, Shannon, it has been 3 days. You can't tell her to let it go when the media is not letting it go. And that's I think that's where Dave was coming from with his, and I feel you on that, because it's like, well, you want me to let it go, but y'all still talking about it. So you can spin the narrative on me how you want to, but when I come out and talk about what I really feel, y'all want me to stop talking.
That's my point.
That's what the second let it. Yeah.
That's my big point. You can't tell me how to feel when y'all continue to talk about it. Y'all telling me that the media spinning it and that is this and that. How y'all gonna tell me forget about it when it's still being talked about? It's not easy. It's not easy for Joe. That's like saying you did something illegal, but you beat the case. But they continue to talk to you about that. They keep putting that stigma on you. Are you going to easily forgive them about that if they keep talking about it? I get your point when you're saying you're forgiving it for yourself. I get your point there. I agree that she should forgive it for herself, and maybe she has. People don't. Maybe she already has forgiven it for herself. Like she's probably already at peace with it. She's just like, I can be at peace but not have to go there. A lot of people don't understand that you could be at peace and not be around someone. You could be at peace and no longer be in communication with someone. You're at peace. You no longer want to put yourself in that kind of energy. So my point is, that's my point, pretty much.
But is she okay? The media is bringing it up. I agree with you on that one. But is she feeding the media? She is.
No, I'll give you that.
She's feeding it. So what he's saying is, I'm looking at it like, don't feed the media. Because Skip came out the gate and went to the situation, this and this, and he was like, all right, you're right, blah, 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 but let's move past this. Let's talk about, he even said, let's talk about how y'all won by this much. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about this. He never dissed her. I never looked at it as a diss. I looked at it as advice, because he still praised her in the midst of giving her advice. So I don't think he's wrong. Now, because he has said, I'm going to give Angel Reese some advice. Don't take it the wrong way. I'm just trying to help a black sister out. If he would have said out before he made his comments, it would have been way better, but he didn't. But when I watched it, I didn't like. It didn't come across my head like, "Dang, aren't you tripping?" But so when you say he's on a doghouse, I was like, "Let me watch it again. Maybe I'm missing something." And then I still felt the same way, So, and maybe it's me because I always try to be the bigger person. That's how I am. I always try to be the bigger person. And if the person still want to be immature, she gotta live with herself. All right. Biden never the first lady never came out and apologized. Her husband did it for her, but she never came out and said nothing. That's something that she gotta live with, not me. So I'm not going to the White House at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, I'm moving on from that subject. Hey, y'all, man, I had 36 double-doubles, man. I had this and that. Man, I'll be talking about that way more than anything else versus the bad stuff.
I would.
Everything they do.
I see the comments and I see what everybody's talking about walk through the white nose, but sometimes, bro, you gotta let them know, because her whole argument. I know we got one more person, but her whole debate was the entire season. Y'all been on my back
all season.
I finally show up and show out in the game. She talked about the game. She said I did my thing, and y'all mad because I said. So yes, the next time somebody asks me about it, I'm gonna bring it up.
And this is also my point. She's not letting her emotions control what she does. That's my thing. If that was the case, then she wouldn't have played as well as she did. Or maybe she used it to be able to continue to play her way. Like, come on, man. She played great all season long. But that's not what they talked about when it came to her. They talked about even the first time that we saw her do this to somebody. That's all they talked about, saying that she was disrespectful. She shouldn't be doing that in the game. It's not ladylike. It's sports. It's sports at the end of the day. So come on now, let her do what she does. This is what all people in sports do.
Yeah,
not really.
It was a little bit of Shannon Sharpe. I think honestly, to me, I really think Shannon Sharpe just tired of talking about it, because you can hear it in the last. He's like, just let it go, Skip. It sounds like he just tired of talking about it.
Because I think he's like, we haven't praised her yet for the game. Like we haven't.
But he can do that though.
I did, but
he can spin that. Honestly,
we just threw it out there and we spent a lot of our energy on what everyone's talking about. You feel me? Like we haven't talked about the actual game, which was like they were down by double digits and came back and blew them out and killed them.
Another thing to add to that game had more views than the UConn game. Like I forgot UConn even won. If it wasn't for that episode, I would have forgot that UConn won the men's championship.
You know, so like I get it. Frustrated. You want to let people know you're frustrated. You also want to get your point across, which she did. What he's saying, it's been 4 days, 3 days, whatever it is. Like, let's talk about the good stuff. Like,
hey man,
like Blaze said in the chat, he didn't even know it was a blowout game. You know, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I seen a TikTok dance go viral for 3 months. Shorty, do your thing.
Facts.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.